Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm back for part 4 of the Ovenden Junction Railway. In part 3 I finished at the northern end of Old Lane Tunnel. So we're going to continue in the series on towards Ovenden Railway Station. In part 4 of the Ovenden Junction Railway we'll be continuing on towards Lee Bank Tunnel from the Woodside Viaduct. We'll be taking a look at the history on the Lee Bank Mills towards the northern end of the Lee Bank Tunnel, inside the tunnel and towards the Broad Street Bridge. So what you've got behind me here is the remainder of the Woodside Viaduct. Now I took you up onto the A road at the end of the last part, but here you can see that the remainder of the viaduct is more visible. Part of the viaduct still remains that supports the A road. Now it looks like it is old railway stone. There are a few brackets that you can see on the wall there. Now remember I did say that the viaduct curved from Old Lane in towards Lee Bank, and I mentioned that the south portal has been partially demolished with the southern portal of the tunnel that's been filled in. So this looks like what remains of the viaduct that was demolished back in the 70s. You can see more of those cable supports up there, and this looks like a strong remainder of the viaduct. So here, just behind all this high there, you can see the remains, or just about make out the remains of the viaduct behind here. And you can see a massive section of it still left here, which then leads onto that embankment. Now there's no way of getting onto it, it's too high up, because it would have been nice to have gone up there and see if we could find the location of the filled in portal of Lee Bank Tunnel. Now that picture that I showed you at the back end of part 3, where you can see the tunnel portal, probably just about up there. Like I said, that's long gone, but the northern end of the tunnel is still accessible. I am currently walking on Old Lane, adjacent to this building, what was known as the Lee Bank Mill. Now it's been laid derelict since 1971 around, but it's now undergoing a transformation into some apartments, I believe. And apparently it was known for textiles. And it is currently a grade 2 listed form mill building arranged over ground of 5 upper floors, forming part of an almost rectangular shaped site, which you can see. And it's notable as the oldest and largest serving example of a multi-storey steam-powered iron-frame textile mill in the important textile centre of Halifax. And just down there, don't know if you can just make it out, where that chimney is, there's a boiler house, or an old boiler house, and the mill has residential development ongoing. It was going to be used as offices, but they've decided to cater it for homes. Now you might have seen this building in the background in the previous episodes, but there you can see the rectangular shape. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're the floors that I was just referring to. And you can tell it's undergoing restoration into apartments. Now I wonder what the future is going to be for the boiler house. I'm not sure if that's going to get demolished eventually. If you do know any more on the development on this site, do leave a comment. Now just behind the chimney is where Lee Bank Tunnel would have curved in at 267 yards towards the northern end. So I'm still walking down on Old Lane. I want to see if we can get onto that embankment towards the northern end. Now it does look like here you did have more buildings which were other mills. Now you can kind of tell that there were buildings here because there is a large dip in the ground there, and you can also see a lot of old framework within that stone down just down there. And there is a pile of rubble just further down there, and if you just take a look further up here, you can see what remains of an old window that's been filled in and bricked up. So this must have been part of the same mill. If you do know more, leave a comment. So we're just slightly to the northern end of where the mill was, and I believe that there is a culvert that ran underneath the mill, and here it is. Now I'm on my own today, so I won't be going down there, but there's, and I believe what it was to go towards a mill pond, which I didn't mention, that was down at the south side of the mill. I'll just put the map up and show you where it was. So I believe that this led down there. Absolutely brilliant, nice little flow. I have been here before, but last time I did come it was quite icy. Here's another view of the beck. And what we've got here now is another culvert. Now I haven't brought any torches with me, but you can see here that the culvert's got the flow underneath going down towards the, well, I believe went down towards the pond at the mill, going down to that other culvert. Absolutely brilliant. So we're going to go up here now and see if we can get onto the track bed towards the Viaduct tunnel. We've just walked right down here and had to head up this way. There's that culvert just down to the right, to the left of me, sorry. We've had to come up here. This is where back onto the track bed just north of Viaduct tunnel. So we're actually heading back on ourselves. You can clearly see it's overgrown. Just looking back there, there's a bridge going towards Ovenden station which is filled in. So we're on an embankment that's just slightly north of the tunnel portal, just flowing adjacent to that mill pond that's to the left. Now it is September, but the vegetation's still got quite a lot. Now this is the northern end of the Viaduct tunnel. Now the southern end is all filled in because they had to literally demolish that to build the road that's adjacent. You can just hear the cars. So this, like I said, this is the northern end. Again, typical GN design. Same arches as you've seen in previous GN tunnels that I've done on the Queensbury lines. And the Old Lane tunnel we've just showed you. Inside the tunnel now, and we're just looking at the bricked up northern portal. You can just see there that I think there used to be a door which has been covered over by some more modern bricks. Now as you enter inside the tunnel, you can see a lot of bricks on the floor. And like all the Great Northern tunnels, the majority of it's made out of stone. And it has a change of brick further down. So let's just have a little look. Now looking at the tunnel, it looks like it was built in sections. So if you have a look here, you can just see the split there. So you can tell it was built in sections going along. Now there's 267 yards to explore. You just have a look here, we can see a cable tie. There's quite a few of them that head down the tunnel. So that pick of the pops. But yeah, you see them, heads all the way down. You can see the slight curve on the tunnel there. You can see grass or nature's starting to grow in here as well. And there's just a clearer shot of how the tunnel was built in sections. You can see it just bulges out a little bit more. Again, on the other side, you can see the split. then here's just another section there. Goes all the way around. You can see there how it was engineered. And it seems like they were built in very small sections because you can constantly see the splits as you move along. And you're looking at about, what, probably 15 meters-ish per split. There's plenty of ballast left down on the ground. And you can see all the old soot that moves along the tunnel. So we just stumbled across these bolts on the floor. There's a bolt there. Now John has mentioned it could be a fish plate bolt, which there is a fish plate down here. You can see it there. So there's a small, like, rusted one there as well. I'm just wondering if that was a bolt that bolted the fish plates in. So as I was saying before, you can see now where it changes from the stone and brick lining. Now, majority of the tunnels in these GN tunnels that were on the old Queensbury lines tended to have a similar pattern of like stone bases and then brick. You can just see there, you can see stalactites hanging down as well. Yeah, there's a big change of stone and brick. And kind of just towards the centre of the tunnel, that's how it patterns out. And then it goes back to stone over there. Now we've tried to theorise what these are now. We're not unsure that these are chain markers or yard markers, but there's no numbers on. They look to have come off. Let's see if there's any remains of any numbers, but it looks like they've come off, so here we are. Just having a look up there now. You can just see another bit of, because it obviously, from where it changed from the brick, it's now stone again, but then again you can just see more brick up there. Now, we have a theory that there were potentially a worker shaft built that was covered over, but you can see all the soot. And again here. Just a little look back at the northern portal. It is quite damp in here, but I can't really feel any water coming down. But another little look back at the portal there as we make our way to the southern filled-in portal. Again, another section where the tunnel's been built. Small sections. Potentially part of an old sleeper there, or some post, fence post. And just here we've got like a cable bracket, another cable bracket that heads down. And another little look back at the portal there. No children allowed in this factory. So we've got the filled-in portal of the southern portal. Now, on the other side, I've got a picture of what it used to look like. And obviously all the land has been filled in. It's just another look at the southern portal, obviously. Let's have a look here. It's like some old cut wiring. I'm not sure what they've used to actually fill this in, but that's calcite deposit. It's gone onto the brick. And there's just a little look at the portal, and then just take a little look back at the curve of the tunnel. So that's Lee Bank Tunnel, guys, and just cover the whole length of it. So what we're going to do now is just take a walk back to the northern portal and just give you a walkthrough of the tunnel. So following the route, we're going to continue now towards the Ovenden station location along that embankment just on the outside of the portal, following the route of the Ovenden Junction Railway along this, well, it looks like an embankment. It's got a massive retaining wall at the side there that holds up the A629. So we're continuing northwards, and just here we've found a pile of wooden railway sleepers, all just pushed into the side here. Don't know if you can just make them out. All grown over with moss. You can just hear that dam. We've got here, looks like a fence post. An old railway fence post, and are these all railway relics? I'm not too sure. They look like they potentially are. What we've got here does look like it's part of a support for a fence post, I think, maybe. It's got an old bolt there. And so this was an underbridge, carried Broad Tree Road over the top of the line. Now the bridge is filled in. This would have been the route towards Ovenden Station, which is just on the other side. You see the bridge there. You can see the abutments on either side. I'll just move you in. But this here, see the retaining wall and all this here. All this spoil has filled the bridge in. Here's just another view from the other side. Someone's bike there. So I'm stood on that bridge on Broad Tree Street, which, yeah, you can see the track bed. And here's the bridge you can just see that I'm stood on. And then our line continued right down here. towards Ovenden Station. Now, just over there you can see Halifax Boxing Sports and Fitness Club. Now I've been given permission to go on there and do some footage of the bridge. You can just see the line there, how it curved up on its gradient towards Ovenden Station.